Good morning. As we go to the Chitas of today, we're holding in the today is Wednesday, the fourth reading in the book of in the Parshas Kisisa. We're holding on chapter 33, verse number 12. Moshe said to God, you tell me to take these people up. Oops, I'm sorry. Oops, wrong day. Sorry, chapter 33, verse 17. Moshe God said to Moshe, also this very thing, which you said, Esa I will do, that that our nation, that the Jewish, the Eibishter would have a special relationship with the Jewish nation. Because I found you found pleasing in my eyes. And I'll have known by you by my name. Rashi says, what is the thing that you asked? That my Shekhinah should not longer rest upon the heathens. I will do. Bilam, the Gentile prophet, words not come about through the resting of the Shekhinah on him. But his prophecy would occur when he would fall and his eyes would be unveiled, such as now a word was conveyed secretly to me. But in Eve, that these heathen prophets would hear the prophecy through a messenger, and they wouldn't hear it through the Shekhinah itself. But the Eibishter spoke to the Jewish people by Moshe Rabbeinu through the Shekhinah itself. Moshe Rabbeinu said, "Hareini nos kvedecha, show me your glory." Rashi said Moshe perceived that it was the time was God was a goodwill. Everything that he's asking by God is responding in a positive way. So right away, all those words were accepted. So he continued to ask that he show him his appearance and his glory. And also, whatever, these are many interpretations to what Moshe Rabbeinu meant. What does that mean? God is infinite, where you see God's glory. So God said, I will let all my goodness pass before you. And I'll proclaim the name of the Lord before you. And I will favor when I wish to favor. I have compassion when I wish to have compassion. Now she said, the time has come that you shall see some of my glory that I will permit you to see, because I want and I need to teach you the order of this prayer, the prayer of the revelation of God's glory. Because when you have to beg for mercy for Israel, beg me to remember the merit of the patriarchs. You think that if the merit of the patriarchs is depleted, there is no longer any hope. I will therefore tell you the attribute of my goodness pass before you while you are hidden in a cave. So you're going to know that actually that the concept of the Eibishter's kindness is everlasting, it's never limited, and there's no limit to God's kindness. Over here to teach you the procedure for begging of compassion, which God's going to teach him the 13 principles of mercy, according to the procedure during which you will see me unwrapped, so to say, and proclaiming the 13 attributes. Teaches the Jews to do likewise. Through their mentioning before me, compassion and gracious, they will be answered, for my compassion never ends. All those times that I will want to show favor, I will. The time I want to have compassion, until this point, he promised him, Moshe, only that at times I will answer, and times I will not. At times of deed, when God revealed Moshe the 13 principles of attributes. However, he said to him, behold, I will form a covenant. He promised to him that the Jews would never return empty without an answer for their prayers. The Eibishter would always answer their prayers. And God is compassionate. He's all loving. He would answer in a positive way. So he said, you cannot see my face. You because no person alive can see godliness, true essence of godliness. Rashi, whenever even when I let my goodness pass before you, I still do not grant you permission to see the face, the essence of God. So the Abed said, behold, there's a place for me, you will stand on the rock. Rashi says, on the mountain where I always speak to you, I have a place prepared for you with its benefit, where I will hide you so you'll not be hurt. And from there you can see what you shall see. This is a simple meaning. In the Midrashim, meaning is that the God is speaking for the place where the Shekhinah is. As it says, the place is with me. But he doesn't say, I am in the place. The Holy One, blessed be he, says, the Holy One, blessed is the place of the world. The world is within him, but the world is not his place. It's a famous expression in the Gemara. HaKadosh Baruch Hu mekaymer shel olam ve'eina olam mekaymer. This is the expression in the Gemara. This is the paradox. HaKadosh Baruch Hu mekaymer shel olam. The Eibishter is, the whole world is him, but the world is not his place. Ve'eina olam mekaymer, but the world cannot fit him. So the Eibishter, God, is the world, but the world does not encompass him. So he encompasses the world, but the world does not encompass him. This is a very Hasidic concept. Here we see that as the Rebbe would say, that Rashi talks the most spiritual concepts. He has the most spiritual concepts in Rashi. Most spiritual Hasidic concepts are brought down in Rashi. This is one of the examples of the deep Hasidic concept. What does that mean? The Eibishter is the world, but the world, self-understood, is far from him. And it shall be when my glory will pass. There's something that could have I'll place you in the cleft of the rock. And I will cover you with my hand until I have passed by. Again, Rashi is going to give you the simple interpretation, and everybody should continue to learn these psukim. There are many, many midrashim and many, many commentators on these psukim. When I pass before you, like following the verse, even if they pick a tenakev, those people's eyes, may the raven in the valley, that actually is explained what it means b'nikiras, from the cleft. The sarkasius kappa. From here, we understand that the power was given to the destructive forces to destroy Moshe Rabbeinu, and that's what the Eibush to protect him. The Aramaic translation: "V'ogim b'ma'amari," I will protect you with my word. This is euphemism out of the honor of the high. Therefore, he does not need to cover over Moshe with an actual hand. It's an expression. The Eibush said, "I'll cover with my hand." The Eibush doesn't have a hand. Verse 23, Vaseresius copy. You will come, then I'll remove my hand. But he says, you'll see my back. Upon later, but you will not see my face. Now she says, Vaseresius copy. Uncle is rendered when then I'll remove the guidance, my guidance of my glory. When the guidance of my glory passes from the opposite of your face, to go forth from there, this means that even Moshe would not be permitted to grasp the essence of God, only his attributes and his deeds. So as Chassidus explains, that Moshe Rabbeinu can go to Chesed, to Chochmah Atzilis, maybe, or actually to Bina, the world of Atzilis, but that's an attribute of God. Even Bina, the world of Atzilis, is the attribute of God. But the Eibush to know the essence of God, even Moshe Rabbeinu, who reached up to the highest levels of understanding, cannot have the essence of God. Only actually Mashiach comes will have the concept, the essence of God. And that's one of the reasons why even Moshe Rabbeinu is begging every day from the Eibishter that Mashiach should come, because he wants to see the essence of God. His promise has not been fulfilled. So the Gemara says that he showed him the knot of his tefillin, whatever that means. Because we all know the Gemara says that whatever God commanded the Jewish people, he does himself. And if he asks the Jew to put on tefillin, he puts on tefillin. Whatever that means in a physical or spiritual way. But that completes the Chumash for today. We now go to the Tanya of the day. And we are still in the middle of chapter 30 of Tanya. So the Alter Rebbe said that self-understood, this war with oneself is not a simple war with his Yetzer Hara. This struggle that he has is a very, very deep struggle on many levels. And to overcome it is not going to be an easy thing to do. Even the war itself, most people don't want to get involved in this war to begin with. And that's why, even as the Alter Rebbe, the Alter Rebbe explained in the beginning of Tanya, chapter 12 and 13, that the one who doesn't serve God can be a Beinoni, but he didn't fight with his Yetzer Hara. So he doesn't want to have this fight. A Beinoni, a Shavadi, one who serves God, is the Beinoni that has a war with his evil inclination, with his own typhus, with his own animalistic soul. And that's what the Alter Rebbe continues. Whoever has not attained this standard, which is the standard, to go out to war with his physicality, this big war, he decides, I don't want to get involved in this war. He has not yet measured up to the quality of dimension of the war waged daily with the Kal Shabakalam against the evil nature, which burns like a fiery flame. So there'll be that this powerful evil impulse will be humbled and broken before the fear of God. So he doesn't know what it is. He Pasha doesn't know what it is. So not only he shouldn't judge somebody else that he doesn't want to go out to war, he doesn't go out to war himself. This then is a standard by which everyone must judge himself. He has to look at himself. I might not be doing something bad, but the question is, do I have the capacity to do it bad? Do I have the potential? If I have the potential, the capacity, that means I haven't fought my Yetzer Hara. That means simply I haven't challenged my evil inclination. And therefore, I don't know what it means to go out to war, my Nefesh Abamis. I have no idea. And therefore, I have to realize that I'm not so great. I have a situation that can be terrible. Because ultimately, if I'm not going to go out to war with my Nefesh Abamis, this animalistic soul can come out and bite me. Does he battle against evil impulse during prayer and similarly in other areas of divine service that the Alter Rebbe will discuss as intensely as a Kal Shabakalim must battle against his? So why am I challenging somebody that doesn't have the capacity to overcome his Yetzer Hara? I don't overcome my Yetzer Hara myself. I don't overcome my evil inclination myself. So what makes me better? And we know that a Beinoni can fall into this situation where he doesn't battle his animalistic soul. He doesn't do something bad, then he wouldn't be a Beinoni. But he's a Beinoni that for whatever reason doesn't battle against his Yetzer Hara. And it doesn't go out to war against his typhus, his desires, his capability, even potential of doing something negative. So too one's kavanah. I'm not even talking about davening, even grace after meals, and embedded when we say the benching, whenever those said prior to eating or those recited before performance of mitzvahs, all of which require a battle with one's evil impulse, because we say brachas, we say it like by heart, we say it we say it just haphazardly. Here we have a bracha, we're mentioning the name of the Eibishter, and we're just saying it like nothing. We're saying it like nothing. It's a serious thing. It's one of the 10 Commandments. Do not say God's name in vain. So if you're saying God's name, I should have kavanah. I should think about it. I should have intention. When am I saying God's name? Just saying God's name. So that's a problem. So I'm such a big tzaddik that I ultimately I'm saying brachas, I'm davening, I'm doing all these things like kavanah, without any intention. Why don't I have intention? Because my animalistic soul is not letting me have intention. And I'm not willing to go out to war with my animal for whatever reason. I don't want to go out to war with my animalistic soul. Okay, so that shows how far you're away from your godly soul. I'm not even talk about the mitzvah itself. Not to mention one intention before a mitzvah. Forget about the bracha. When a person does a mitzvah, he's doing it haphazardly. Solely is saying that's not done for the soul's sake of the mitzvah. Meaning, God's sake. This requires still even greater effort in one will surely find himself wanting. Alter Rebbe is trying to tell me, to find humility in myself is not a difficult thing. It's actually much harder for a tzaddik to find humility, and that's why Moshe Rabbeinu, his ultimate title is he was humble, because a tzaddik is humble naturally. And he has to find humility. So that's why Moshe Rabbeinu was the ultimate concept of anivus. Because for Moshe Rabbeinu to be an anav, which he was naturally an anav, humbled person, was a great title. For me, it's very easy for me to be humble. Because I know I am not humble. I know that there are many things that I don't challenge my animalistic soul. That shows that I'm not humble. If I'm not willing to challenge my animalistic soul, shows that I'm far from humility. And so too comes the learning of Torah, right? With regard to a battle required in a matter of one occupation of learning of Torah. What's the battle? The battle is you don't learn what you desire. That's your natural. That's your animalistic soul. Says, let's learn. You love to learn. I love to learn too. Who doesn't love to learn? But who's ready to go above their nature in learning? Who's willing to go the extra mile in learning? To his own natural way of learning. He goes above that. That's why the Torah says that you have to amelis b'divrei, you have to labor in the learning of Torah. If Torah comes to you in a natural way, you love learning, that's not called laboring. And that's not the mitzvah. The mitzvah is to labor in the learning of Torah. That you learn more than you can. You break your head over it. You change yourself by learning it. Then you're learning. If it comes easy to you, that means you're doing what you naturally do. So you haven't even in the learning of Torah, I haven't even in the learning of Torah, have shown a concept of overcoming myself. Thank God, I love to learn. God bless me. He gave me a character that you love to learn. And many of us have that natural character. We love to learn. So you have no war about it. The chachma is to have a war about it. To go more, learn more. Learn more. Imagufe. So when one studies Torah, only as much as his natural inclination or habitat in diligence dictates, he requires no effort or struggle at all. But in order to match the struggle, if you are challenging, that Alter Rebbe is telling you, if you are challenging somebody who's lower than you, challenge yourself. But to match the order of struggle of a culture, you see a person that doesn't learn. By him, it's a struggle. There are many, many people who have a struggle with learning. Simply don't have the zitzfleisch. They don't have the mic. They struggle to sit and learn. So I should look at a person who has a struggle with learning. He at least has a struggle. You just not even have a struggle at all. So you should be inspired by a person that has a struggle. And sometimes he fails and sometimes he wins. But he struggles, and inspire you to struggle. One must study far, far more than he would in his natural or habit. Then that's it. Inspire a person. When you see a person that is struggling, don't put him down. You should inspire him. You say, okay, I'm also going to show you I struggle. And you need to bring a struggle into your life. You know, I always tell people shouldn't wait for God to give them struggles. They should do their own struggles. They should push themselves. They should push themselves. Every one of us should push ourselves to become better. Not to wait till God gives us a struggle, so now we become better. No, I push myself. Because I'm humble. I realize that's the problem. I take everything for granted. I take everything. I'm looking for the easy way out, like anybody else. Like everybody else is a kal shebekalim. As I said yesterday, easy of easy. Everybody's looking for the easy way out. You're just judging somebody who's doing more the easy. You're jealous of the guy who's just doing more easier. You're saying, why is he easier? Why I'm not easier? You're the same thing. So humble yourself. Be an inspiration. I should be an inspiration. I should not take the easy way out. I should work. I should struggle, change myself, inspire somebody else who has their struggles. Because for a study, a fraction more than the one's want entails, but a minor tussle. And there's no parallel nor bear compassion to the war of a kal shebekalim against his evil impulse, which burns like a fire. So that person that's falling in his things, the kal shebekalim, he has a great struggle. You should realize that. And I don't have such a struggle. Person that has an addiction has a great struggle. I don't have that struggle. Person that has mental illness has a great struggle. And I don't have that struggle. The for which he's nevertheless called utterly wicked, even though you can't justify his evil. And the Alter Rebbe is not justifying a kal shebekalim's evil. That's not the point. The point is he's taka rasha, because he's not overcoming his struggle. But it has nothing to do with me. So the guy is not overcoming his Yetzer Hara. To break himself before God. But me the same. I'm not overcoming my Yetzer Hara, and he's not overcoming his Yetzer Hara. We're both not overcoming our evil inclination. We're both giving in to our evil inclination. I'm giving in to just do everything in the natural way. And that guy's more, he's giving it to his Yetzer Hara to even go more. So similarly, unless one struggles with his evil impulse to study much more than is natural or habitat demand, he's no less wicked than a kal shebekalim. This was a tough learning because everybody thinks they're better than anybody else. That's your own Yetzer Hara telling you that you're better than somebody else. And that suffices, makes you happy that I'm better. But the truth is you're not. The Alter Rebbe said in truth you're not. But one may object to this reasoning. How can one say, the Alter Rebbe says, how can one say, how one may say, can I, in all honesty, compare my shortcomings to those of a kal shebekalim? I'm lacking merely in the quality of the good that I do, while he actually violates. How can he? But still, the Alter Rebbe is bothered. How can I basically say that I'm worse? I'm just as bad of a guy of a sinner. The guy of a sinner is doing sins. I'm not doing better. I'm not doing more good, but he's doing sins. So how can you do that? How can you make this evaluation? And a person should say that I am I'm not better than a person that sinners. I'm not sinning. I'm a Beinoni. So I'm not sinning. This guy's sinning. So how can you compare a person that doesn't challenge his animalistic soul to a person that sins? The Alter Rebbe says as follows: What's the difference is there between the category of turning away from evil, which is a kal shebekalim fails by actively violating, and the concept of do good, in which he fails by neglecting to exert prayer, Torah study, and likewise. They're both a mitzvah. The Eibishter demands on you to do this mitzvah. If God demands upon you to do a mitzvah,
What's that
if God
word?
demands upon a person to do a mitzvah, then I'm not doing the mitzvah. So what is the difference if I don't do a mitzvah or do an aveda? There's no difference. There's no difference when a person that does an aveda, that's basically doing an aveda, and a person that doesn't do a mitzvah. They're both sinners. So you have a person that's doing an aveda, he can't overcome his Yetzer Hara, and he's doing a sin. And then you have a person that the Torah says, "V'gisa b'yayim v'layla," you shall learn Torah by day and by night. That means whenever I have a situation that I'm not working and I'm not doing something else, I should learn Torah. I'm not doing that either. So you're right. I'm not doing a mitzvah, and he's doing an aveda. They're both the same thing. He broke a sin, and I broke a mitzvah. We're both sinners. And the Alter Rebbe already said this at the beginning of Tanya, that a guy has to look in the mirror and realize that if he doesn't daven correctly, and the Alter Rebbe says in the first chapter of Tanya all the things that a person might think, you know what, I'm only doing rabbinical law, I'm only doing, I didn't stop somebody else from doing a sin. If I see somebody else doing a sin and I don't stop him, what the Alter Rebbe says, the Gemara says, he's called a Rasha. What do you mean? I didn't do a sin. I didn't stop somebody else. That's also a sin in the Torah. The Torah says, the Torah, it's a mitzvah. The Torah says if you see somebody doing something wrong, you got to stop him. You say, I don't see no evil, do no evil. No. The Torah says it's not acceptable. You cannot, you didn't evade it. You know, it's interesting that in general, in Torah law, like for example, if you have a Shavas Aveda, if I see a lost object, you don't get it. I didn't see it. I don't want to do the mitzvah of Shavas Aveda. I want to get involved and start returning people's lost objects. I don't get involved. It's a whole big pain. It's a pain in the neck to pick something up. There's lost object. Now I have to go look for the owner. But I have to do a lot of things now. I don't want to see. No, you didn't do a mitzvah. The Eibishter brought you to a mitzvah and I walked away from it. So you didn't do a mitzvah. So what's the difference? A guy didn't put on tefillin, or a guy didn't do Hashavas Aveda. There's no difference. Or a guy eats treif. Chas v'shalom. This guy couldn't overcome his desire to eat non-kosher, and I couldn't overcome his desire to walk past an object and not pick it up. It's the same thing. Both of them are tzivah melech. Both of them is a command by God. So there's no difference. See, we fool ourselves to make differences. And therefore, the guy who eats treif, we condemn. And we say he's a terrible guy. But the guy who doesn't learn Torah, that he could have learned, we don't condemn. He's not the terrible guy. In the eyes of the Eibishter, they're both a mitzvah. I've asked you not to eat treif, and I've asked you to learn Torah day and night. So the essential point of a mitzvah, however, is that it's expression of the will and of the only and unique God. And in this, there's no difference whatsoever between the two categories of doing a sin and not doing a mitzvah. And again, even when I do a mitzvah and I do it b'loi kavana, it's a problem. So I made a bracha and I'm not thinking about the God's name. I'm saying a bracha, that's a terrible thing. And I need to do tshuva on that if I've done it. If I said God's name and I just was thinking about something else. Hakol hi mitzvahs hamelech hakadosh baruch hu, yachad and meyuchad baruch hu, both are a command of God. The holy King, only and unique one, blessed be He. So failing of observant individual in the quality of his prayer, Torah study, and so on, are therefore compared to a person who sins. Mamish kal shebekalim, a Jew who's a sinner. So therefore, every person knows these things, that he needs to a lot of work. He's maybe not doing Averis, Baruch Hashem, but he needs to work on his mitzvahs. He might not be doing a sin, but he needs to work on his Avas Yisrael. He needs to work. We need to work on our Avas Yisrael. We need to all work on loving another Jew. We need to all work, as the Alter Rebbe says, al tadil chavercha, not to be judgmental. We all need to work on this. So therefore, in this situation, if I'm not going to work on it, if I'm not going to go and make sure to do the mitzvah of Av Yisrael to completely, so why can I judge another Jew? How can I judge another Jew? To the Eibishter, the Jew who's eating treif is the same thing like I am, not having Av Yisrael and not talking lashon hara and not davening b'kavana. V'chein b'shar mitzvahs, and so too in every mitzvah. U'befrat b'davar shebemammon. And the Alter Rebbe says, I'll bring it down next step. Right? And the other command requires a struggle. We all have struggles in mitzvahs. Maybe I don't have a struggle eating treif. I might not have a struggle in breaking Shabbos. I might not have a struggle in eating non-kosher. I might not have a struggle in doing other sins. But I do have a struggle when it comes to do a mitzvah. I do have a struggle. Especially in matters involving money. Suddenly, when it comes to charity, for example, charity. So I do it begrudgingly. I don't want to give tzedakah. I struggle with it. I struggle with giving tzedakah. Truth is, tzedakah is above ma'aser. I struggle with my ma'aser. I struggle with my tzedakah. It's a mitzvah d'Torah. It's a mitzvah d'Torah. How can you struggle? Just like the Jew struggles. That Jew that you might know struggles with the mitzvah of eating kosher. I struggle with the mitzvah of giving tzedakah. So we're both in the same boat. We're both struggling with God. He struggles in his way, and I struggle in my way. What does it make a difference to God in which way you struggle? Kal shebekalim, the lenient of every lenient. Person that wants to be the lenience of lenience. He's trying to find a way that he can do every sin. That's a kal shebekalim. The Gemara doesn't want to call him a wicked person, so he uses a nicer terminology. Kal shebekalim. That's the nicer terminology. Instead of calling a person you're wicked, you say, oh, you're just trying to find every loophole. You're trying, right? The Torah demands you A. You're trying to figure out how you cannot do A. How can I get out of it? How can I get out of it? So you can call the guy a wicked, or you can call a kal shebekalim. So that's the doubt that I've been saying. You know what? You are judging a kal shebekalim. You're judging a Jew who's lenient in A. Look at yourself in the mirror. I need to look at myself in the mirror. And I'm a kal shebekalim. I'm also, suddenly when it comes to davening, I'm a kal shebekalim. When it comes to learning, I become a kal shebekalim. When it comes to giving tzedakah, I suddenly become a kal shebekalim. Alter Rebbe is also being nice, not calling you a rasha, you're wicked, so you're a kal shebekalim. So therefore, the Alter Rebbe says you need humility. The Alter Rebbe is not here taking something and saying the way, and that's nobody should be a rasha. Nobody should do something wicked. That's for sure not. We need to overcome. But we need to work on mitzvah say also. So just like we need to work on mitzvah leisaseh, that we never do an aveda, we never do a sin, and it might be something that we struggle with, and it might be, and we need to overcome it for sure. We need to overcome our struggles in mitzvah say. We need to overcome our struggles in the positive commandments. In Avas Yisrael, it's a positive commandment. In mitzvah tzedakah, it's a positive commandment. Iyun tefillah, to daven kavanah, it's a positive commandment. Limit Torah, Talmud Torah Keneged Kulam is a positive commandment. And go above one's nature. Don't be a kal shebekalim. Don't be a person that makes everything easy on my animalistic soul, makes everything easy, and every loophole and every kind of way I can get around it, we try to get around it. No. Be a person who, let's like it tell another person to overcome his struggles. on his animalistic soul not to do a sin. I should overcome my struggles on my animalistic soul to do a mitzvah b'kavana, to do the mitzvah l'shem shamayim, not to do the mitzvah, not to say the bracha haphazardly, not to daven haphazardly, not to learn Torah haphazardly, not to do anything positive, just to do it. I got to do it, whatever. It's a mitzvah, I got to do it, I'll just do it. No. Overcome, go out to war. I should go out to war with my nefesh habahamis and do the mitzvah above my nature. Don't be a kal shebekalim. You're condemning all the kal shebekalims. You're condemning all these people that are looking for the easy way out. You shouldn't have the easy way out either. Giving charity to man involved in labor. Give till it hurts. That's when you do tzedakah, because you're going above yourself. Don't give tzedakah if that makes you comfortable. Give tzedakah till it hurts. Till you feel it. And we all know what we all need to do in Avodas Hashem, that we go above our nature. We don't look to live to do things according to our nature. That then you're nicely called a kal shebekalim. Then you're nicely called a easy of easy. You're trying to find everything that fits in your lifestyle, in your comfort zone. So what's the difference to other Jew that wants to live in his comfort zone? So we all want to live in our comfort zone. So therefore, don't live in your comfort zone. And maybe you'll inspire the Jew who's doing an Aveda that he shouldn't live in his comfort zone either. He should realize that you're right. It might be a difficult thing to do. He might have to give up things in his life not to do the sin, but you're an inspiration to him. You're not living in your comfort zone, and you showed him that how he can overcome his Aveda. He can overcome his own comfort zone. What a beautiful Tanya. It's just out to them. It's just refreshing to be able to comprehend this and be able to incorporate it self-understood. Today is the 19th day of the month of the first month of Adar, and the Tillim of the day is chapter 90 to chapter 96. If you do those 7 chapters, you do the chitas of the day. Wish you all a wonderful day. Mitzshem, I'll see you all tomorrow, 8 o'clock. We'll continue the chitas of the day. Have a wonderful and beautiful day.